Okay.
Hello. I guess we're starting that over.
Okay.
Hello.
Good evening. My name is R.M. Seidler. I'm the author of the Key to Time series.
And I am Helen Jetter, the dyer behind Pixel Sheep Fiber.
Hi.
And we are Quills and Needles. What is your beverage of choice this evening, Becca?
So tonight I'm drinking, it is a decaf ginger peach. I just love the design of these. This is from the Republic of Tea. And it essentially tastes like the candy, the peach rings.
Ooh.
It's really good. How about you?
Tonight I've got wine. I'm drinking a Noble Estates Merlot. I can say the name of wines, I promise. Merlot. In my grapes of half glass, I figured that was fitting for writing podcast. The grapes of half is a half marathon I ran. I've run it twice. So not this last year, canceled, but
I'm a little jealous that I didn't get the memo that we were drinking wine, because otherwise I would be also drinking wine. But
it's Saturday night. What do you do?
It's a good time for wine.
It is a good time for wine, but tea's also good. What have you been reading as of late?
Well, I'm doing some research for my new novel, and basically research meaning reading romance novels, which other than Jane Austen has not really been my genre of choice. I've read 2 books from Amanda Quick. It's called Mistress and the Paid Companion. And it sounds super dirty, but it's actually not. Like, it's legit. Like, Mistress is she's totally pretending to be somebody else so she can get into society to find the culprit of blackmail, or who's blackmailing her aunt. And so she's pretending to be someone's mistress to get into society. And the other one is she's pretending to be someone else. Or she's pretending to be the significant other of someone, so they'll essentially leave him alone so that he can go solve the case of who murdered his uncle. Anyway, they're actually quite fun. So if you want something to disappear into,
romance, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. All set in early 1900s England.
That sounds delightful.
They were a lot of fun. So, how about you? Have you had a chance to read anything?
I haven't. It's been kind of a rough couple of weeks, so I really should have been reading because that is very relaxing for me, but I just didn't have the brain space to read. I didn't knit at all for like a week, and yeah, it's just been, I guess, to fill people in. We are in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in Eugene, Oregon, and we were covered in hazardous levels of smoke for 7 or 8 days at the hazardous level, and then we had a couple days where we were at 100 and 200 versus the 500. But basically we couldn't leave the house. It was dangerous to go outside. We couldn't go in the garage. The window in one of our bathrooms is not the best, so we had a bunch of our windows tapered and taped up, and sections of our house just like blocked off. So, and there's 5 of us in this house, so it was a time.
It's not an easy week for all of
kids need to go outside. Like, my kids could not leave the house for 7 days, and they're 2, 4, and 7. That's just not gonna happen.
That is not conducive to sanity.
Mm-mm. No, there was no sanity. We lost it completely. So.
Well, you have a very good excuse of why you were not doing much reading or knitting.
Yeah. How did you guys deal with the smoke? You didn't have it for quite as long as we did, I think.
No.
You still
we were hazardous for only for only 4 days or 5 days, and then we were yellow for a couple more days after you guys had gotten green. So, but we had that windstorm come in right before the day before the hazardous smoke. So basically my whole yard got trashed from the windstorm. And I'm very A-type, and if my house is messy or things are messy, I'm anxious. And so just everything was trashed, and I couldn't go out and clean it for over a week. So everything was so I finally last Sunday spent 2 hours and just cleaned everything.
I thought we were going to have to, but the smoke went away with the torrential downpour, and so all of the ash got washed away.
We didn't have to deal with the ash, thankfully. We had a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Oh, we had. I'll try to put a picture in, but we have like a layer of ash. It was bad. It was, you would watch it falling from the sky. It was just raining ash. But we were only 20 miles. We were only 20 miles from the fire.
We were 30 from the closest one, from the closest evacuations. You guys were in an evacuation zone though for a while.
No, we never were, but it was headed our direction. And
okay.
So even though we never even made it to number 1 evacuation, like be prepared type of thing, but
okay.
And we didn't really ever expect it to get to us because it would have had to go through like 2 full cities to get to us essentially. But we did have it in the back of our minds, like, okay, this is moving really fast. This is bad if it does come.
We definitely had a conversation where we sat down and kind of made a verbal quick list of if we needed to get out, what would we do? And that was kind of a weird conversation to have because we had friends that actually evacuated. And so it was, So it was a very surreal conversation experience.
We definitely had that conversation too. Ours was less about like, what are we going to grab? A lot of it was just like, okay, if we have to leave, where can we go? Because when we were having that conversation, there were fires all the way down the Oregon Cascades. There was a huge fire just north to us. There was a huge fire to the south of us. There were fires down in California. And it's like, where can we get out? Because if the fires are all coming this direction, driving to the coast seems like a dangerous option. Because if they keep going, then you're at the coast and it's like, where do you go? Just start swimming?
Well, and one of the coast towns actually was evacuated. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Union City, So because we were the same thing, like Bend, our way to get to Bend is on fire, and up into Washington, and usually we would go to you guys and Eugene, and we're like, well,
yeah, we found this like random little back route to Bend essentially, and our plan was to drive south on the I-5 a little bit and cut over to Bend. I don't remember what highway we found. They're like, we should be able to get across on this one if it's not on fire at that point. And then we're just like, and then we'll just keep on driving a couple states over, and not to Colorado though, because they were also on fire. But.
Well, and we thought we had passed it too. We're like, we're almost out of fire season. And then the wind and light, windstorm, and that was it.
Yeah. We had that, and they knew it was coming too. Everyone was warned, at least here. They're like, we are going to have a once in a lifetime fire like situation, and hopefully no fire start. But if fires start right now, it's going to be bad. And of course, like 6 did. Just the wind was shifting in a weird way. And I guess, what was it? So fires usually right along the ridges, so they're a lot easier to control. This is what we heard anyway. I'm not a fire expert. Don't quote me on this. But what we heard is that the fires usually run along the ridges and therefore are easier to control because it takes more effort for them to come down, whereas these are running through the valleys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so it was just like, boom. Yeah. Anyway, that's what we've been doing. And the rest of the world. It's been a fun couple of weeks. That's also why we're a week behind on the podcast, because we just couldn't Well, frankly, I couldn't film a podcast in a house with two toddlers and a young child that had been stuck inside for a week.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a fun podcast to listen to, and by the time they went to bed, I was also in bed. So
Wiped out.
yeah, it's not a fun time.
So I know you haven't done as much knitting, but what have you worked on in 3 weeks?
So I thought I was gonna finish a lot between the last podcast and this one before all the smoke things happened, but I made a lot of progress on a few projects, and I did finish one thing. I started and knit it in one day. So I knit a little hat. It was supposed to be for my 7-year-old. It fits my 2-year-old great. So they're gonna have matching hats. He has requested that I knit him another one that fits him a little bit better. It does fit him, but it's just a little bit short. So it goes around just fine, but it's a little short. I have a child-sized head. I know, but it's kind of fun.
It's really fun.
So the story behind this yarn, it's actually kind of fun. So I held 2 yarns together because I tried to do a hat in just this, and it's this alpaca merino mohair bouche, I think is how you pronounce it. With all these little loops. And I could not, for the life of me, see what I was doing. And it's fingering weight, so I was using pretty small needles, and I'm like, I can't knit this. I can't even see where my needles are supposed to go. I can't see what loops I have and what loops are the loops. So I have some black Cascade La Merino. That's a DK weight. So I just held them together double, and I really like the effect of it. So it looks really nice.
It worked out well.
It's just the color, but it gives the little backdrop to it. I like.
It worked out well.
So, and that's just some leftover yarn I had. And the fun story behind this yarn, it's a very unique, but my 7-year-old, the one who I knit the hat for, actually dyed this yarn. I didn't let him dye it in the normal way because fumes and everything. So he did wear a mask, he did wear gloves, but he dyed it cold. So the colors mixed a little bit more than they probably would have because he put all the colors on when everything was cold, and then he left and I heated it up and set the colors. But he had fun. He picked all the colors and then he put them on the skein in the water.
Oh.
Yeah. So he picked, I think the original colors were there was yellow, blue, emerald, and pink. And so we ended up with some purples and some like different greens where the yellow and the green mixed, and some browns and some other fun. But yeah.
It makes it unique.
Yeah. And he had fun with it and he loves it. So, and now he and his sister will have matching hats. So that's my one and only finished object. It was pretty fun. Have you finished anything? Or are you just trucking away on your
Still working on this long, massive thing. I looked at the sweater that I've been working on, and I was trying to look at the instructions and trying to remember where I was. And between that and a conversation I had at work this week, I've come to the realization that I don't read instructions very well. And it's a huge pity that not everything I want to knit has tons of tutorials on YouTube, because I would learn a lot better if someone had a GoPro on their head and were actually knitting so I could follow along. So that was kind of an interesting realization that while reading these instructions, like my brain turns off. And it's weird as a writer. Like I imagine I would be able to read and understand, and no. If it were in a story form, maybe. I don't know.
It's been a stressful time. I wonder if you'd be better at reading instructions and whatnot if life wasn't just as stressful as it is right now. The fires, obviously, but the pandemic as a whole, we're all used to it, but I think it's still affecting us. The the base level of stress in the world right now is just a little bit higher than it usually is.
That's true. And even though we feel like we've gotten used to it, I think we're just kind of hit that realization that it's a potentially a long-term thing, or we don't know how long, and it's just our brains are not completely connected to that, or I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's my lack of knitting. I have done some work on my adult paint by numbers, so that's coming together at least. And yeah, I'll send a show picture when it's all done eventually.
Yay! It's a really pretty one.
Thank you.
All right. Shall I go over my whips, my works in progress?
Yeah.
So I think I showed these on the last podcast. My little socks. I finished my pair of stripy socks, and then I'm making one for my kids. These end up being, I was gonna make them for the 7-year-old. These are a little bit tight on him, so I think they're gonna be for the 4-year-old now, which is fine. I didn't particularly pick one over the other for any particular reason. I just started knitting socks, so I made a little bit more progress on that one. My cozy hubby I thought I would have done, but I kind of took a little break on it after a while, but got the body done. And then I'm about to start the ribbing on the sleeve. So.
Well, also with the fires, it's not like your bed could be done either. So.
No, he couldn't go out to the garage or use a saw. There was no power tools happening around our house at all. Nope, no lawns were mowed, no power tools, no drilling, nothing. It was a
reason.
Just like, we don't need more fire. And the one that I've made the most progress on, I just actually bound off the first sleeve, is my Comfort Fade Cardi. So I think on the last podcast, I had just put on the first color switch.
Yeah.
So now I have all 4 of them done. In the body, it kind of goes to a gray, green, and then you can't really tell unless you're up close, but this is like a bluer gray, or a bluer gray.
You can see a little bit.
Yeah. And then I just finished the first sleeve.
That's really, really pretty.
Cool. It's a little tight. I just tried it on. It's a little tight, so fingers crossed that it blocks out. I know the sweater that I'm wearing now. Well, I should talk about this sweater too. When I blocked it, it was a little tight, and then it blocked out nice, plenty big, almost a little too big, but so I'm fingers crossed that it does that, or I don't know. We'll see. So
good luck.
Yeah. So that's my Comfort Fade Cardi, and that's what I've been working on. Yeah. Oh, can I talk about this really quick? So this is the sweater that I was test knitting that I talked about a couple times.
Oh, it's finished.
So it's released now. This is the In Stillness drop by Alicia Plummer. And I love it. I wear it so much. It's probably my favorite sweater. It fits so nicely. A nice drop sleeve with the fun stitch detail there.
Oh, yeah.
So comfortable. I love it. And it's in my colorway Hyrule Field, which is like a pretty green with a little bit of gray undertones. And I love how it knit up. Yeah. I like it.
Yay.
It's joy that I can wear sweaters. That was the other weird thing about the smoke, is like it was summer, and then we got smoked in for a week and a half, and the smoke dissipated and it was fall.
Yep.
It was like, oh, we're done? Oh, okay.
Like it was so bizarre.
It was
suddenly
so weird.
Going to bed. We were going to work and it was gray and dark, and then the smoke left and it was still gray and dark. We're like, wait a second. We were cheated our last couple mornings still of going to work in like the nice morning sun.
Yeah, it just is weird. And I hear it's supposed to warm back up. We're supposed to be in the 80s again, but it was just
I
like,
heard about Diana this week.
Yeah, it was just like warm 90, 100 degree weather, and then 60. Wait, what? There was no closure to summer.
Well, I mean, if you have, what is it? That Oregon actually has like 8 seasons, because
Yeah.
then you have like you have fall, you have faux fall, faux summer, real fall, because it does that in the winter, and then in the summer, like, or in the spring, it takes so long, and then it tricks you, and so yeah, we've got 8 seasons.
Yeah. I love having seasons, though. I couldn't live in a place where it's just.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
So. I'm ready for fall now, though. It's officially fall by the calendar, and I'm ready for sweaters. And we've reached what do I call it? Which is why cardigans are great. We've reached the sweater in the morning, regret it by noon weather.
Mm-hmm.
You dress,
Yep.
you're like, it's cold. I'm going to wear long pants and a nice sweater, and then you go out at noon. I was thinking about it in relationship to drop off and pick up. Obviously, I'm not doing that right now, but when I would drop my son off at school, like everyone would be bundled up, would wear your coat, and then I would pick him up. Everyone would be in a completely different outfit, like shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you wear layers, so you can take things off and put them back on again.
Yep. Yep.
Well, so while I haven't been knitting, I have actually been writing.
Yay!
It's too soon in the process to give any details. This is the one I think first podcast we were talking about names.
Mm-hmm.
There is really no right or wrong way to write. I've done a lot of research on the idea of planning versus pantsing. And I tend to be more of a pantser when I write, and kind of write until I get stuck, and then I'm forced to plan myself out of my pantsing ways. And so every time I try to switch it and I decide, okay, I'm going to plan this book, I don't end up writing it because I've thought it through and I plan and I plan and plan, and it's lost the excitement for me. So I don't want to write it anymore. So, but on the other hand, if I pants it, I go through what's called the quarter-way curse. And I have about 4 or 5 different stories that are all a quarter way done, and I can't get past it. So it's usually between page 40 and 55. I just can't write the story anymore. I know the characters, I know the world. I can't write anymore. And so with the book that I'm currently working on, I'm getting very, very close to that quarter point, and I'm almost afraid to keep writing because I'm afraid to hit that wall and then decide, okay, am I going to try and plan this out? Can I get past my quarter curse? So that's where I'm at, is trying to not be afraid of, or trying not to be afraid of this quarter curse and just write past it.
You can do it. Just keep writing.
So,
just keep writing.
So yeah, if you have any better ideas on planning novels, please send them to me, because even though I've written 3, I still have quite a bit to learn in the world of writing, obviously. So in the meantime, I'm just writing purely for pleasure, purely for fun. Nothing may ever come from this, but I'm doing something I've never done before, which has been fun, and I'm just doing it, trying to kind of get away from all the insanity.
Perfect.
So,
yeah, I mean, that's what it should be. Have you sent any query letters out for your other book that you were working on for the Twitter?
So I sent out one because she was closing to fantasy. So I sent that one out. I'm working. I had one paragraph in the query letter that really was bothering me, and so I've kind of been delving into that, and I just haven't been quite ready to finish that. So I've looked at it and I've knocked my brain against a wall. And I'm also not mentally ready to spend 8 or 9 hours just sitting down sending 30 query letters that are all tailored to each literary agent. So
yeah, it's like a full-time job for a week or 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid day of work, and with having a new job and with the stress of everything going on, and then of course our toilet broke. And so it's like, am I really ready to do this right now? And I know I need to hurry because a lot of people are going to get, do NaNoWriMo, and then there'll be a whole wave of everybody sending out their NaNoWriMos. And so the poor literary agents are already slammed from COVID. And then they're going to have NaNoWriMo. And so I need to get it set before the November writing a novel in a month.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
You'll get there.
Go and do that, actually.
We have better weather. It's the cozy sit inside and drink tea and get stuff done weather.
Yeah.
It's almost energizing. Just a little bit of cool after the summer. So it's coming. It'll be good. Stuff will get done.
Sounds good. But yeah, in the meantime, we're actually rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh.
And just getting lost in something wonderful, because I think during all of this, you got to find something that's fun and lighthearted and wonderful, and just get through it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think your kids are about the age for that now.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. But I mean,
so good.
We don't watch a lot of TV. I haven't really watched any TV in I have, but since my first was born. Well, since my first is maybe like a year old. We just kind of busy.
Yeah.
Not on the list. I've been watching, so Alex has been playing the Uncharted series. So I've just been sitting and knitting at night and watching him play. And it's been fun.
I like those.
Yeah,
those are fun.
Story.
I'm playing through the first one right now, actually.
Okay.
Well, I haven't for the last couple weeks, but
yeah. So he's on the third one. We're about halfway through the third one, I think. And we only have 1, 2, and 3, so I don't know that he's gonna start jumping to 4. He just bought a bunch of the Assassin's Creed. He used to really be into Assassin's Creed, and then kind of took a small hiatus. Yeah, we haven't used the PS4 hasn't been used in a while. It's just been kind of sitting, and we've been using the Switches. But so the PS4 is back out, and it's been fun.
Oh, yeah. I just started playing Stardew Valley. I know you played that for a while.
You just started? Well,
yeah.
You might want to stop before you send your query letters.
I'm already addicted. I'm like halfway through spring, and I'm playing on PC, and it's really nice because then Josh can sit next to me, and he's been playing through Red Dead. He's just started, which is I have mixed feelings for it, because I really want him to finish Witcher, because I've been doing the same thing, sitting next to him, writing and knitting while he plays Witcher, and it's a really good story. Like, can't you just finish Witcher first?
I just want to hear the story while you play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the one downside of the Switch. It tells you how many hours you've been playing a game. I think they probably all do that, but I think I'm over 300 hours on Stardew Valley. I'm just like, I don't have that much time. I don't know where I found that much time.
Well, at first I thought about it. I was like, why would I want to play a video game where I have a farm and I'm doing all these chores and it's basically like a job and work? No, I love it. I don't know. I'm like, yes, I want to plant my strawberries right here.
Of course. Well, I need to go harvest my parsnips and get my greenhouse going. Oh, you probably.
And I need more money so that I can have a coop, so that I could go do this, and then I need to go fix that, and I still need to go give somebody a gift. I'm like, how do you give somebody a gift? I can't catch a fish to save my life.
So the first time I played my first game, I couldn't fish at all, and then Alex and I played one together, and I fish all the time. I'm like, I'm just gonna fish. You do all of the farm work. I'm gonna figure out this fishing mechanic.
Like, peace. I'm gonna go fish now. It's super relaxing. The music and the lighting, and you're like, ah.
Yeah. I've spent way too much in that game.
Speaking of Stardew Valley, I think we need to hang up so I can go get my parsnips.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I have to knit more sleeves. I'm hoping it fits. I really
Good luck.
it was a little tight. I don't know. It looks long enough, but
It looks long.
yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
Yep. All right. Well, have a lovely evening. Enjoy your parsnips. Thanks for watching, everyone, and joining us for this random night of knitting and writing and reading and wine, smoke,
Video games and
till next time.
bye. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.